Yo, what's going on YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte. Guys, we're taking a look today at the latest on the Buffalo Sabres. Now, it is reported that we may see some of the big names on the Buffalo Sabres moved out as soon as the NHL entry draft here in 2021. We'll be getting the latest in terms of rumors of what teams are interested in these three guys in particular, the three guys that are being talked about, and where they may go. We'll be looking at all of that in this video. If you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news from around the NHL, and more videos just like this one, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. And let's take a look at some of these rumors. So, there has been a lot going on in terms of Jack Eichel, Sam Reinhart, and Rasmus Ristolainen. Those are three names in particular that we are hearing could be on their way out of Buffalo here before the NHL entry draft. Now, and a couple of rumors are even saying the Buffalo Sabres are preparing to have potentially two top draft picks here in the top 10 for the 2021 NHL Draft. So that may be a hint as to what teams may be involved here in terms of a trade for one of these three guys. So, according to Jimmy Murphy, we'll start with this one. The Arizona Coyotes have now become serious contenders for Jack Eichel. The Kings, the Rangers are interested as well. We've also heard that the Ducks have been in the conversation for a little while. We've heard Seattle has since, Ron Francis has reached out or should reach out to the Buffalo Sabres about the status of Jack Eichel. And we've also heard teams, like I said, the Coyotes, the Ducks, those seem to be the typical names. And we've even heard St. Louis at some point. Doug Armstrong would not be opposed to making a move like that. The question is, does he have the assets and the salary cap? That's part of the equation, but those are the teams we're hearing. Continuing along, the Buffalo Sabres have received trade interest on a number of players, including Jack Eichel. You would have to assume some of those guys are Sam Reinhart, potentially a guy like Rasmus Ristolainen, and you maybe even wonder if even the young guys like Casey Middlestat maybe a Rasmus Asplund, who may be unprotected to a team like the Seattle Kraken, maybe they could move on from him, before then. That's something they could look at. I wonder what's the status with Linus Ullmark. Are teams interested in him as a goaltender? Just a couple of things to take a look at. And then continuing here, at the end of the day, I don't think the Sabres want to bring back Jack Eichel. They want to move on. That was from Elliot Friedman a couple days ago. I already made a video talking more about that with Jack Eichel, but that was a huge quote and really shook up the internet. I think because we're just getting more clarification on it. We've heard the rumors that it could be happening. It was a little more smoke, but now it seems like we're seeing a little bit of a flame at this point. And it's getting to the point now where this is going to be very interesting to see how this works out. The Anaheim Ducks inquired on Buffalo Sabres forward Jack Eichel at a point during the season, and they still remain interested. That was from the fourth period. Elliot Friedman expects that the Jack Eichel trade will be done by the entry draft. Again, kind of going along with what we've been hearing of potentially two top 10 draft picks here in 2021 for Buffalo. And the Seattle Kraken general manager Ron Francis has, in fact, checked in on the Sabres' Jack Eichel. Again, just adding to the storyline. Darren Dreger thinks that the Buffalo Sabres are finally ready to move on from Jack Eichel. Continuing that further from Darren Dreger, kind of confirming what we already heard from Elliot Friedman. Darren Dreger also believes that the Los Angeles Kings will circle back on Jack Eichel. So pretty much LA, Anaheim, Arizona, Seattle, and the New York Rangers probably. Those are the teams you should really be looking at. And, of course, we'll hear teams like the Boston Bruins in that conversation. How big of an offseason will the Bruins have? That's still to be determined, but don't be surprised if we start hearing the Bruins back in that rumor mill once again. So now we're moving on to Sam Reinhart. So Eric Stevens suggests that the Anaheim Ducks should go after Buffalo Sabres Sam Reinhart. Now, the question is, if you're the Ducks, do you try and find a way to package up both Sam Reinhart and Jack Eichel? That's going to be a very expensive package. You have to assume that Jeff Skinner would also be a part of that. Again, the Ducks are eating up into their salary at that point, so that may not work. They may look at, all right, well, if we can't get Jack Eichel, we would maybe look at Sam Reinhart as the alternative. And I think that would be a really nice complementary piece to this already really, nice up-and-coming building team in Anaheim. Sam Reinhart would be a great addition to that group. Continuing with Reinhart, Elliot Friedman, there's a lot of trade interest in Buffalo Sabres forward Sam Reinhart at the moment. Again, kind of continuing that storyline. I think Reinhart will be another name we hear a lot over the next couple weeks alongside Jack Eichel. And again, some of the teams that I think are going to be really honing in on a guy like Sam Reinhart, I really like teams like the San Jose Sharks and the Anaheim Ducks. Now, we've also heard maybe the Ottawa Senators, the Edmonton Oilers could also be in on that mix. But I really like the California teams here on potentially picking up Sam Reinhart. It keeps him out of the East Coast, which may be something that Buffalo kind of thinks in the back of their head. And that's something new. Just, again, it's food for thought. Now moving on to Rasmus Ristolainen, who has been with the team as well. Again, all these guys, former first-round picks of the Buffalo Sabres in the past few seasons. Lance Lasowski believes a Rasmus Ristolainen trade is inevitable at this point and would make sense to happen before the expansion draft, as the Sabres will have more defensemen or less defensemen to protect. And the question is, what team is going to see Ristolainen as valuable enough where they want to take him before the expansion draft? That's also something you have to look at. Continuing with Risto, Lance Lasowski also mentioned the New Jersey Devils have trade interest in defenseman Rasmus Ristolainen. So it seems like another player has been in this conversation for Risto. I think the two teams at the end of the day that will seriously be looking at Ristolainen are the Winnipeg Jets and the New Jersey Devils. Both need defensemen. I think it's a good fit for both of those teams. Teams that are in a rebuild but starting to try and come out of that rebuild. I mean, Winnipeg, we know what they are. They're trying to fix the holes on the back end. They've been doing that the whole time. New Jersey, as they try to transition out of a rebuild, this would be a really nice core piece to add in a guy like Ristolainen. Really would be a nice addition. And then according to Lance Lasowski again, the Buffalo Sabres are preparing for that possibility to have 2 top 10 draft picks here in the 2021 NHL Draft, which, if you look at the draft, let's go through it. At number 1 is the Buffalo Sabres. At number 2, the Seattle Kraken, a team that checked in on Jack Eichel. At number 3, the Anaheim Ducks. Oh yeah, they've been linked to maybe Sam Reinhart and or Jack Eichel. Okay. Number 4 is that New Jersey. Oh, isn't that interesting? They were tied to Rasmus Ristolainen. Wow, isn't that interesting? So again, and then 5 is Columbus. They may take a swing at a guy like Jack Eichel, but again, that seems like more of a long shot. But right there, I think we could see Buffalo here, not even top 10, potentially 2 top 5 overall draft picks, like we saw with the Ottawa Senators last year. A little bit of a different circumstance here, but I think that would be very interesting. And just to continue that along, like I said in a recent video, Owen Power does want to return to Michigan next season. So if the Buffalo Sabres have the first overall pick, they select Owen Power, and they have another top 5 pick, maybe that's their spot to pick up a guy like Eklund or Beniers as that second piece to their lineup. So, interesting conversation. Now, honestly, there's a couple of different ways that this team could have gone. I mean, if they were to have kept Jack Eichel, Reinhart, and Ristolainen, honestly, I think that would have changed the way they drafted first overall. I think it would have been Owen Power. Or if it wasn't Owen Power as a defenseman, maybe they take the really good, prolific scorer and a guy like Dylan Genscher to go alongside on the wing for a guy like Jack Eichel. But the Buffalo Sabres seem like they're going to blow it up this offseason. I think I've said this in videos before, a lot of you mentioned, it's going to be a very interesting offseason in Buffalo. And I think we are preparing for what could be, hopefully, the turning point of the Buffalo Sabres. But the question is, it's not about the players you bring in. We've seen them bring talent into Buffalo before. The fan base has always been there. The question is, can the management and the coaching staff get it together where they not only get these guys together, they have a good scouting team, bringing the right fit players, are they going to be able to do that? And that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. So guys, Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. What do you think the Buffalo Sabres will do here this offseason? I'll list the 3 guys here that should be getting, I would assume, traded here before the entry draft in Eichel, Ristolainen, and Sam Reinhart, and my predictions for exactly where I think they will go based off of my own percentages, nothing statistic, just my own thought on it and the likelihood of that fit. So make sure to leave your thoughts down below. And if you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL and more videos just like this one, you guys know what to do. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time.